Hey, it's Vickie Howell, just jumping into your feed really quickly to talk to you about Wavy Rib. It's a beautiful textural stitch, and it is used in this headband, which was designed by Angela Tong for the October Yarn Yay box. So I'm going to show you. I just want to talk. It's all you need to know for ribbing of really any kind is how to knit or how to purl. So if you know how to do both of those things, you are golden. I did want to just point out a couple of things for this particular stitch, though. So what makes this so beautiful is the waves, right? The undulation. And although it looks like it might be complicated, really all it is placement. It's moving your knit stitches one way or the other and adding more stitches in between to fill them out. So you might see written instructions or you might see it in a chart or both. And I wanted to talk about the chart aspect because that's new for some folks. So when you are working flat, as we are for this project, you will read this. For the right side, you read from right to left. And when you're working on the wrong side of the piece, you read from left to right. And that is standard whenever you're working on a piece back and forth. Okay, and then there'll always be a key as well that will explain what the symbols are. So if there's no symbol at all, that is on the right side you knit, on the wrong side you purl. If there's this little dot, it means that you purl on the right side and you knit on the wrong. And then for this particular chart, the red is just going to show you what your repeat is. So if you wanted to design your own piece later, you would know that you would just keep repeating this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece, this piece again and again and again for as many repeats as you wanted for whatever your piece was, meaning that's how many extra stitches that you would add. That is the multiple, rather, of what you'd add. Okay, so the only thing else, I'm just going to go over it really quickly, line by line. But again, if you know how to knit or purl, you are golden. All right, so for row one, and I'm working with just a very mini piece. You're going to knit the first stitch. Purl 2, knit 4, and that purl 2, knit 4 would be your repeat if we were working on a wider piece. And then you get to your last 3 stitches and you want to purl 2 and then knit 1. And just as a side note, I'm working with this gorgeous DK yarn from Camellia Fiber Company that is also in the October Yarn Yay box. All right, so now we're on the wrong side. I want to just go over this again. So remember I said that would be your repeat. It was the purl 2, knit 4. You can see what that looks like in a chart form. All right, so now we're on the wrong side. We want to knit 3. Purl 4, knit 2, and that purl 4, knit 2 would be your repeat, and then you work to the last stitch and knit 1. Okay, so for rows 3 and 4, all you're going to do is repeat rows 1 and 2, so go ahead and do that and then I'll meet you right back here. Okay, now we've worked rows 1 through 4. I want to flip this piece over so you can actually see what it would look like. For this particular project, it is started from this point. The reason why I wanted to show you that is that so that you could compare. What you've done here is rows 1 through 4, and you can see how there's this big square of non-symboled squares? Those are all knit stitches. You can also see on this piece, see if I can bring it a little bit closer, there is a big square of knit stitches. So it's kind of magical watching that stuff come together, or at least I think it is. All right, so now let's move on to our 5th row. So for the 5th row, we're going to knit 1, and then we're going to knit 3. Now why wouldn't I say knit 4? Because the knit 3, purl 2, knit 1 that we're about to do is the repeat. So This knit one that we just did is only just an edge stitch, so it's kind of its own jam. So we're going to knit 3 now. Purl 2. Knit 1. And that would be your repeat, as I mentioned a second ago. And then you're going to work to the last 3 stitches, which I've done, and then you'll knit those 3. And what that is doing is that is starting to move our stockinette stitch, so our knit stitches on the right side, outward so they become their own thing, so they become ribs. All right, so now for row 6, we're going to flip over, knit 1, purl 2, and then from here, here's our repeat. Purl 1, knit 2, purl 3, work to, oops, I purled 2, let's purl 3, work to the last stitch and knit 1. And then flip it over and you can see they're starting to, let me bring it in closer, they're starting to move out, become their own thing. Then from there, you need to repeat those last 2 rows one more time. And that would be your overall repeat. So it's just an 8-row repeat. And what that repeat will end up doing is creating this sort of like vibey rib. It's so cool. It's so simple. It's head turning, not just because it's a headband, but it's just one of those classic, beautiful stitches that you should keep in your arsenal for projects right now, like this one, like this Waves headband by Angela Tong and beyond. All right, thanks a lot.